What's up, all you booby wooby mommy milkers? It's your boy, Kino, the Cowboy. Welcome to the Harbor Podcast. We're back again with Just Dylan and our special guest, Greg Turkington. Scott Keith. Sorry, wishful thinking. I know.
I wish.
But anyway, we're getting into cinema of 2020. What was the best? What was the worst? Now, obviously, if we would have had it our way, Godzilla versus Kong would have came out. That would have obviously been the best picture. But unfortunately, George Soros and China decided to work together against the U.S. this year. So nothing to do about that. So
I think you mean Black Widow, not Kong. It's Black Widow. That would have been
okay. Yeah, well,
that would have been the.
That's all.
Thanks,
Fuck up.
Thanks, Soros.
Shit.
What's up with you guys,
Shit.
especially Dylan? What's going on with you, Dylan?
I don't know. Is there something going on with me? I never heard anything.
Why are you drinking that tea?
Well, we got the COVIDs over here in this house.
Oh, boy.
Oh man, we.
So So this
He's
is
using
the
plural
official...
pronouns now. That's the first symptom is excessive wokeness.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the final Dylan podcast, obviously, because things happen. Thanks, Soros.
I mean, I escaped 2020, but 2021 came right for me. So.
Yep. Week 2. Bah-bah.
It all went downhill.
You probably got it week 1. So. Bah-bah.
It went downhill after that investors meeting. It gave me COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
So.
Yeah, I feel good.
Do y'all hear? Oh, good. Much better than yesterday, right?
That was good to hear.
Yeah.
Y'all hear any cool movie news or anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
Did you see Doctor Doom is going to be in Black Panther 2?
Really?
I mean, that's the news. I just saw it this morning.
Oh shit! Okay, awesome.
That's kind of cool.
Hopefully they make Doctor Doom as fucking crazy and badass as he is in the comics and don't water him down.
No, he needs to be like a 1% aristocratic fuck.
Doctor Doom, if played right, could be like the big bad that like
for the next
heralds in like Silver Surfer and Galactus and shit. He could be the big bad.
He could really be the next like Thanos
if they do it right.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone wants to hear about fucking Marvel.
Are you guys, real quick, the last Marvel thing, are you guys going to check out WandaVision on Friday?
Yeah, I will.
Do you have Disney Plus, Scott? Or do you have it can you even get it in Spain?
No, we have it in Spain. We don't have HBO Max.
Okay.
On all the ads on the bus stops, it said like Wonder Woman only in cinemas. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
No.
I wouldn't be doing it if you paid me, probably.
Oh, wait. Yeah, before we get into more news and our topic for today, we talk about Wonder Woman real quick. Did you see it, Adrian?
No,
okay.
Sorry.
Cape shit. Feminist cape shit.
I've kept like looking at it. And I'm like, man, and do I want to waste 2.5 hours right now? Not really.
Dude, I'm more interested in watching Red Letter's media review of that movie than I am.
That's the only reason I would watch is to watch Red Letter media.
It was
a fucking cuck. Don't fucking judge me.
It was a great review.
But here's the thing. I don't even remember what I was going to talk about. Oh, I'm going to watch WandaVision because it ties into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man 3. It's like the new little arc plot.
Dude, it's been hard enough to keep up with Marvel movies. Are we going to have to keep up with Marvel in more than one medium to get?
Yes, that's what they're planning to do.
Stuff?
That's exactly what they want you to do.
I'm cool. It's not like it's 20 episodes, Scott. It's 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like they wanted to make it into a movie, but they're like, okay, we'll it's too long, so we'll make it into 6 episodes.
And as far as we all know at this point, they're all just limited series. So they're just like little mini movies, basically.
Yeah.
So
I'll wait and see.
I've also seen some positive stuff about it.
Hopefully, it looks pretty cool. Hopefully, if it's fresh.
I like playing with the format, but I want them. It would be cool if there's some content to go along with the form in Marvel movies. If it's like, oh, we played with this format to make a commentary on like media or an examination of like the history of television,
I don't know.
or like something about
this could be
Nietzsche. I don't know.
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, kind of movie news. Disney made EA give up their clinch on Star Wars video game rights.
That I'm all about, actually.
So now we're getting a Bethesda Indiana Jones game, and we're also getting a a Ubisoft / some other company Star Wars open world game, which, if done right, could be my game of the year.
Wait, that's pretty awesome, right? Because don't all the EA games fucking suck?
Yeah, well, they don't suck. Not all of them. They're just middle of the road. Could be way better.
Here's the thing: it's the same division that's making, or it's the same division. It's the same studio that makes the Division. So hopefully, it's not like a Division, Destiny style, loot fest, shooter fest.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully, it's the game of my dreams that takes place on Coruscant, and you can explore all of Coruscant.
So it's a Twilight sex simulator.
Yeah, can we just have like GTA 6 but Star Wars where I get to like fuck like a Watto alien?
Oh, dude, I would love it. I
awesome.
Put his nose right down on my. Okay,
oh my
what are y'all's favorite movies?
What else? Anything else? I'm trying to think.
I haven't seen much lately.
Trump got impeached again. That's funny.
Yeah. We'll like the 13th time?
We'll see what happens.
He did. They just voted on it.
Hey man, this is a non-political podcast. Okay.
Yeah, it's just funny. But okay. Well, we can move into our favorite movies of 2020. First of all, we have to address that jack shit came out this year. This year fucking sucked.
Yeah, it really did.
I mean, a lot of certainly a lot of your tentpole releases got delayed. There were some. Everything was on streaming, which is fine. Only I don't have every streaming service. So I can't get HBO Max. I tried it with a VPN, still didn't work.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I don't have HBO Max either.
You guys know, I fucking torrent whatever I want, and then if I like it, I buy it.
We don't support piracy on this podcast.
Yeah, I've never heard of that shit.
It's the official pirate cast.
I'm sorry. Is that where the Cowboy and Kino Cowboy comes from? You just looting shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Where do you think I got this crown? From the internet. No, but let's see. I watched 22 new movies this year, and comparatively, I usually see it, like probably twice that or more. And let's see.
I only saw 15. That's crazy.
I think 3, 4, 5 of these I saw in theaters, which is nuts.
That is nuts.
I think I watched more like TV shows and just old ass movies this year.
In TV, the thing is the numbing effect of television is good for quarantine and the pandemic. Movies you have to invest in, and they want you to like think, and nobody wanted to do that the past year.
I feel that. Yeah, it's exactly what I was doing.
No.
Although, like I said, though, I was watching a shit ton of just every Criterion movie I could fucking stomach for the like.
Thing I watched something. We can get into this as maybe a post-show thing, but I watched some old movies I haven't seen, but I don't track actually how many movies I don't write down all the movies I watch. I might start doing that this year. But
yeah, I did it for the first time this year.
I've done it since 2017, boys. It's a good way to keep up with what you've seen and what impacted you and what didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but then part of me is like, I don't know, shouldn't I just live my life?
It's not a big deal.
It's nice to go back. I don't know, man. I get weirdly like I don't know if I should invest in the stock market because I don't know if I trust it. I don't know. It's weird. It's stupid. I don't know if I trust the economy.
You'll spend 10 minutes looking for something on Netflix, but it won't take 10 seconds to write down what you just watched on a note in your phone.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I did it with books once, and then I didn't do it with books this year because I was like, I didn't read enough books this year. I'm not worthy of it. But this is when I was working at the library, living large.
No, I wrote down some movies that I watched this year for the first time that I really liked that aren't obviously from this year. And so you were talking about that. We can definitely talk about some older movies too. But,
so my number 5. Borat, subsequent movie film delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit of once glorious nation of Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Here's why. First of all, I'm going to point out the absurdity of making a ranked list and quantifying art as has been popularized by such liberal establishments as the New York Times and internet. So these are personal. These aren't the best of the year. These are my favorites. And I really love Borat 2 because I had the night before had shown for their first time Borat 1 to a couple of my European buddies, and that was a side of America they had never seen. And then Borat 2, I showed that to them the next night. One of them said they liked it better than the first one, and she doesn't live here anymore, and that's good. But there is something, and Adrian, you and I talked about this. The first one's a pretty timeless classic and critique of American culture. The way that Borat 2 is it's the most 2020 movie of 2020, I think.
For sure.
Because COVID hit mid-filming, and it being Borat, they just ran with it.
I mean, it might be the most timely movie ever made.
Yeah, it's up there. They completely changed the second and third acts of that movie to revolve around the coronavirus and the Trump re-election once he gets back in. But it's absolutely astounding. It ties it together in the end. It's very clever. They're very clever acknowledging it's a sequel because Borat plays Borat playing other characters. Sacha Baron Cohen playing Borat playing other characters.
Yeah.
And also, if you read some of the behind the scenes stuff that he pulled off, it was really fantastic. So that's my number 5 for personal reasons.
I just hope it has lasting power. That's all. Yeah. I just hope it,
And that's what I mean by like timely is like a double-edged sword, where it's like, will it continue to be as timeless as the first one? I don't know.
Well, it's just on Amazon, so it's gonna be, that's the thing. Movies feel so ephemeral now, and all media does. But it will be. I think it'll be more interesting as a historical artifact than it will be as a movie that you can just pop on any time, like Borat 1. But that's fine. That's good. Honestly, probably one of the best comedy sequels ever made.
Definitely, especially like the gap. What was it? 2005 was the first one.
Yeah, that movie. They could not have done a better job. Like you can nitpick, but it's like they did it as well as they could under their circumstances. And just for the agility of filmmaking, I'll give it number 5.
That's pretty impressive. The fact that he did it in secret for so long too.
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because he announced that movie like a month before it came out or something ridiculous.
Dude, I think it was like a week and a half before he released it.
Yeah, he was like, hey, by the way, I made Borat 2. It's coming out next week.
Yeah. It was like spur of the moment.
That's probably my number 5 too. Or maybe I couldn't decide. A lot of these movies I saw this year were of all similar, either like okay or just good. I didn't see any like incredible movies this year. But my number 5 now, it might be Borat 2, it might be Mank, it might even be the third SpongeBob movie. I don't know. That number 5 spot for me kind of just is whatever.
My number 5 spot's kind of like that too.
Because like I enjoyed Mank and SpongeBob 3 and Borat, but which has the biggest question is which would I be most willing to watch again? And because I'm such a cuck for the SpongeBob movies, it'd probably be SpongeBob 3.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, dude, like my entire list revolves around, do I even want to watch this again? Like, I enjoyed it. Do I want to watch it again? Not really. Yeah, dude, like there were so many middling fucking movies this year. Like American Pickle was okay. Onward was okay. Fucking Scooby-Doo sucked. Synchronic was okay.
Fucking Birds of Prey came out last year. Do you remember that? That's crazy.
Yeah, Birds of Prey was okay. I was actually looking forward to Birds of Prey. The advertising had me kind of hyped up for it, and then it was just okay.
It's just all right.
So, whatever.
Yeah, it's just all right.
Forgot about it. It's a shame. But that's okay, boys. We got the Snyder Cut to look forward to this year. But the women have had their time. Now Snyder has to come back and pick up all the pieces.
With his toxic masculinity and Superman breaking people's necks.
I actively want to boycott that movie. Can we boycott the Snyder Cut?
Hell no. I'm seeing that day one, boy.
Good luck. I'll be honest. I don't know how many people are gonna see it with or without a boycott, Dylan. So
anyway.
Did you see? Well, fuck it. Yeah, just fuck that.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
What's your number 5, Dylan?
Well, it was a tough pick because I'm trying to think. I have like 3 movies that I want for the number 5. Do I want to go with do I want to would I watch it again, or do I think it's better?
It's your list.
Yeah, it's
I
whatever.
know. I'm still thinking about it, but I think I'd have to go with The Five Bloods by Spike Lee.
Okay. I didn't see that one. I meant to watch it before this podcast, but I didn't.
It's not the most rewatchable movie, but it is entertaining as hell, and it's a gut punch. It's really, I think Spike Lee with this one and the Black Klansman right before it, he's been on a nice just roll of really timely, politically driven, like he always does. But sometimes they're kind of middling, sometimes it's too preachy, some of his movies. But I think The Five Bloods was just it's a really great drama character piece, and also I think that's one of the last Chadwick Boseman performances, and he kills it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's kind of sad knowing that now. And I'd be hesitant to watch it again because the way his character in that movie his arc, it's sad. So I would definitely say The Five Bloods. Delroy Lindo, the guy that plays one of the old vets, has one of the best monologues of last year. I just recommend it for that scene alone. It's incredible. Yeah, I'd definitely say The Five Bloods, number 5.
Okay, what's your favorite Spike Lee movie?
Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, Do the Right. I mean,
Is Do the. I've only seen 3, but yeah.
I've been itching to watch Bamboozled. I've never seen that one. I'm gonna watch that soon.
Have you seen Malcolm X? That's a pretty good one too.
I've only seen that on TV, so
it's pretty damn good too.
I want to read his autobiography before I see the movie.
Our history teacher wanted to.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I forgot. Our history teacher wanted to show some of, if not all of Malcolm X, and then like parents got pissed off or something.
Dude, he's a very historically important figure.
Yeah, well, he's
not showing Triumph of the Will. I don't know.
To Reifenstahl.
Okay, well, let's see. Number 4, Scott.
4 I had trouble with, but I'll go with Mank just because it was different. I feel like I'm trying to make all of these kind of exemplary of a different style or of a different emotion I had while watching them.
Yeah, okay.
Mank is an inimitable film. It is also, I weirdly respect, even though it's easily criticizable, how David Fincher pulls no punches. He says, I want you to know Citizen Kane. I want you to know the history of Citizen Kane before you come into this movie. I want you to know about the making of it. I want you to know about old Hollywood. Like, there's
and
no
the
way
political sphere.
The political sphere of the 1941 gubernatorial race in California, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, even for us, we had trouble.
There's a lot of context that you
have. And also, and that is one I would almost watch again, just because, and not that I rewatch movies that often, but just because of how dense it is. And also, that is one of those things that I respect about that movie, is because it doesn't talk down to your audience. After our podcast of it, we all said that we appreciated it more, which I think is, if nothing else, it is the mark of a complex and layered piece of art.
I think it's just like a veteran movie. Like, he's such a pro at what he does. It's just, you can't help but respect it.
He is, and it's also weirdly a movie of the moment, because it is a movie about like artists' creative control and capitalism and socialism. And elections.
And the way elections can be swayed by the media and shit.
Yeah. So and nothing changes.
No.
And I like any movie that goes in deep on golden era Hollywood.
It is. Also, Gary Oldman is the shit. He's Gary Goldman for me. He's in anything he's in. He's amazing in everything. Everything, he's Midas. Everything he touches.
Okay, that's fair. He's good. And shout out again to the sound design of Mank. Fucking awesome.
Yes.
And the score itself by Trent Reznor.
Yeah, the fact that he's like, I'm gonna make the sound quality like a 1940s film.
The fact that we had two great Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross soundtracks this year.
Hold on. Are you about to get into their next?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But no. My number 4 is Promising Young Woman, which I just saw in theaters. It's about to be on video on demand. But I went and saw it by myself. Don't worry, everybody. There was no one in the theater because patricians watch alone. But this is about a woman with a kind of mysterious past. You got to figure it out as you go. It's good. She deals with her friend Nina growing up, who apparently killed herself over some sort of incident of sexual assault, and it involves revenge, and it also deals with the main character starting to understand herself and figure out what she actually wants in life, and features a good performance by who I just figured out her name is Carey Mulligan. I'm behind on this woman, but and then Bo Burnham, who is the leading man.
Really? I didn't know he was.
I'd never seen him in a movie, I don't think, and I was like, oh, this guy can act. Look at him.
He has a bit part in
Parks and
maybe
Rec, right?
Funny People. He is in Parks and Rec. He has a bit part in The Big Sick where he plays a comic.
You're right.
But
okay, well,
no,
he carried his weight. I was surprised by that, and more so that first of all, this movie it's kind of conventionally shot, but it's shot well enough to be more artistic than most.
You can see a style behind it all.
Yeah.
Or a semblance of
and
style.
It was pretty good, but I have to say the ending thankfully has balls. And I'm not going to say they're the biggest Joey Diaz fucking balls, but that's enough balls for me to be like, okay, that's nice. That's different. You know?
Not a conventional Hollywood ending.
Yeah, well,
not too much. Okay.
Not too much.
I haven't seen it.
And I enjoyed it personally. It was a nice little unconventional kind of mystery / revenge film, and yeah,
I need to check that one out.
I recommend it because there's not much else out, and I had fun sitting there watching it. You know, that's what's important these days.
Yeah.
I did not get a chance to watch the movie you told me about.
Another Round?
Yeah.
Well,
I was busy watching Fury Road with Parker, so
gotcha. Well, speaking of number 4, your number 4, my number 4 is that aforementioned other score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It's Soul.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I thought that was a great movie. It's about a guy who plays jazz, middle-aged, and he wants to make it big. He wants to really play with the pros, but he's stuck as a band teacher. And then he dies, and he goes to the astral realm, and he has to just figure out what living means, basically. And it was a great movie. I don't know what else is there to say about it. It's really just it's not. It's
a surprisingly high concept with its style, and
it's one of the most high concept existential movies I've ever seen.
Let me say, it's based still in that Pixar formula where it's they're going to make you cry or at least tear up. They're going to do this. They got to go on an adventure. They got to do this and that, and it's kind of hijinks ensue. But underneath all that, it's the most high concept, weirdly just philosophical and very esoteric type of movie. It's weird how they don't hold your hand.
It didn't really feel like a children's film at all.
It really
I don't think it was really. It was
the description I've seen is that normally they make children's film that adults can enjoy, and this was just a adult-oriented film that children could also enjoy.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see how a young child 7 or under would react to this movie. There's enough flashing colors and stuff.
Yeah. Well, also when they go to the soul world, I mean, that's just straight. Just look at it, eat your candy or whatever, and
you
can have a fun time. But I mean, at the same time, if you're listening to what they're saying, the first few lines of dialogue that Jerry gives, where she's like, it's like the great before and the great whatever. It's like, what? This is a big concept you're giving to me right now. It's not heaven, it's not hell, it's before and it's everything and it's after and it's It's very strange that they decided to do that, but I love it. thought it was great.
My favorite scene of the year is from this movie.
Which
And
one?
it's when Tina Fey is in his body and she's staring up at the tree and that little petal thing falls down, and it's like pure just like artistic portrayal of like deep like introspection. It's like it's so simple yet so complex. It's beautiful. And like,
and I just the
really
whole message of the movie, I was explaining to my mom, because my mom just watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and she loved it, which is crazy. Yeah. And she was like, she asked me, have you seen Soul yet? And I was like, yeah, you should really watch it. It's great. And then I started thinking about it. And Soul is kind of like the good ending to what I'm Thinking of Ending Things. They have the same type of message if you really think about it. And I like those type of just movies that kind of make you question life, and they make you just sit back and just think about, like maybe I should just take it slow and really appreciate what I have right now. And I think Soul that's a great message to give to little kids too. That's like the first time I've seen that in a movie, that kids can be like, no, maybe you don't have to be a fireman or this and that to grow up. Maybe just, enjoy and take it easy, take it slow. And I like it.
Yeah, it's an important movie to me.
Yeah, and just I can't
hit, and I dealt with a lot of death this year in my family, so like it hit just the right spot. You'll see where it places on my list, but
well, before we go, I just cannot reiterate enough that score is amazing.
When you fucking compare it to the other Pixar movie that came out early this year, Onward, it's like, bro.
Yeah, I heard that movie was ass.
It wasn't ass. It was for kids. It was okay,
Yeah.
And you compare it to other Pixar, like so many fucking mediocre Pixar movies came out this past decade. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
And like, this is like one of the few Pixar movies of the last 10 years. I'm like, okay, this is actually fucking good. He also made Inside Out, which makes sense.
I think he's the head of Pixar now.
I haven't seen Coco. That's the only one I need to that I want to catch up.
Supposed to be good.
Yeah. But Inside Out, I don't know.
Yeah, that was my number 4, Soul.
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah. All right, number 3.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Is my number 3 pick for movie of the year. Also gonna kill myself, but no, that's my number 3 pick. Is I'm Thinking of Ending Things. What can I say? I'm a Charlie Kaufman man. I like my Anomalisa. I like my adaptation. I hella like my Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I still haven't seen Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah.
Synecdoche, New York.
Oh yeah. I'm ready to hear your take on that.
On what, Synecdoche, New York?
Yeah, boy.
We'll jump onto that, and being John Malkovich, you and I will have that discussion someday. There's a lot of movies out there, but that was just a movie. I saw it a while ago, so forgive me, but there was such a drip feed of information where the tension almost doesn't come from anything happening in the plot. It comes from the filmmaking itself, if that makes sense. Because, and just that drip feed of information, because they put you into this surreal, dreamlike place where you do question what is reality or not. So by experiencing, light spoilers, by experiencing somebody via cinema, experiencing Alzheimer's, it almost makes you, in a slight way, kind of experience similar feelings of dissociation, confusion, fragmented memory, trying to remember if something that somebody said in one scene relates to another scene, or if it's a non sequitur brought up by misfiring neurons.
I mean, the meta narrative of the movie is crazy.
It is.
I think that's what makes it work, like you're saying.
Absolutely, and just from a filmmaking perspective, and this is one reason I need to watch it. The unconventional use of where the camera is pointing and what the point of view is, and whether the point of view is omniscient or subjective, objective or subjective throughout the entire film is being played with, and they're dragging the audience along, and it's so. You're so almost confused by what's happening, yet enthralled that you almost can't I mean, even if you try to, if you're have a stick up your butt like us, and you're trying to find out like, why did the director choose that? You don't even have time to think about it because you're moving on to the next thing. And also, I think it's about not wasting your life because it's short. Because you could get Alzheimer's at 60, and then
That's what I mean, boy. It has like the same message as Soul.
And that's so well, but here, yeah, because it's kind of like, I don't know, man. You could walk down a manhole. You could get Alzheimer's. I'm not saying you shouldn't have an IRA, but enjoy your life before retirement as well, because you may not get there. We ain't getting Social Security. I'll tell you that much. That shit's gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adrian,
it might be my favorite Kaufman film, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Synecdoche goes fucking full balls to the wall, and you know me. I like.
I know you, Maximal.
Dense, pretentious, high concept shit. You know, but Thinking of Ending Things really hit a note, especially when
it's so personal.
Especially when you have a loved one who has dementia and Alzheimer's, and you see what they go through, and it's just like it's brilliantly represented in this film. And I'm always a fan of Dream Logic, and and Scott, did you ever see Aronofsky's Mother?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's a similar kind of Dream Logic going on in that movie.
Yeah. I didn't really put that together, but yes. Also, it's in a house.
Yeah.
And the house is an almost difficult to interpret, almost Moby Dickian metaphor. I guess I don't know. That sounded smart.
We'll talk about it in a second. We're not skipping anything, but yeah, I'm Thinking of Ending Things was my number 2, but my number 3, my number 3. Can you guess? It was Tenet.
All right.
Okay. I was wondering if that was going to make it on your list or not.
I was wondering if anyone was going to mention that movie.
Boy, oh boy, did I have a blast watching Tenet. And was it a silly, stupid concept? Kinda. That's why I liked it. Is that they take this silly concept and take it so fucking seriously that you're like, what the hell is going on? Boy, I watched that 3 times in theaters. It is not by any means the best Nolan movie, but it felt more Nolan to me than Dunkirk, and definitely Dunkirk, and Interstellar has probably overall better shit going on in it. But Tenet is probably the most fun I had watching a Nolan movie since Inception, actually. So, and Nolan was big to me in high school growing up. It was a big pillar of my movie making hill of growth. And I'm not as cucked by Nolan as I was when I was 17, 18, but I still had fun. And it was nice to see it in IMAX, fucking loud as fuck. And I like the set pieces and I like the characters, believe it or not. You say what you want, but man, especially the when I saw it with Justin, when I saw it with our friend Justin, he's real, real analytical kind of guy, real particular about his movies, but he had as much fun as I did, and I couldn't believe it. And it was like a good, like, kind of like bros going to see Nolan. You know what I mean? It was just fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Good. No, that's good.
It's a sloppy. Yeah. It's got some sloppiness in the filmmaking, but whatever.
I don't think I watched enough movies to consist like what my worst movies of 2020 would be, but Tenet would be at the bottom of the movies that I saw this year.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I honestly think Tenet might be the worst movie I saw that came out in 2020.
You're fucking full of shit.
I don't even know if I saw 10 movies from 2020 this year, but
we'll get to our worst in a little bit.
I think I already gave it.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say I gave it too.
It's not even bad. It's just it was supposed to save cinemas. They were hyping it up, and I was like, I wasn't expecting they were gonna. Yeah, your opinion is shit, Adrian. But the Kino Cowboy, call me Paul Revere because I'm killing the monarch.
Good one.
So, Dylan, what's your?
My number 3 is actually same as yours, Scott. I'm thinking of many things, and you know what? I could say what I want to say about that movie, but you kind of explained it perfectly, so I'll leave it at that. But
Honestly,
I will add that just from the technical aspects, like the acting is incredible. Toni Collette deserves like an Oscar nod for her small little fucking role in that movie. She's incredible. Jessie, whatever her name is, the girl who plays the girl, Jessie something. She's incredible.
She's good.
Yeah, and
oh wow.
And then Todd from Breaking Bad. He's
Jesse
great.
Plemons is
Jesse Plemons, and then Jesse. But Jesse it's also her name too, and I forgot what her last name is. Yeah, so really, it's amazing. The score is awesome. It looks beautiful. Every frame is a painting, in my opinion. It's directed with precision. Everything matters, and I love that movie. I just wouldn't watch it as much as I'd watch these last 2 movies.
Right. Everything matters is a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of many things. See you guys.
Okay. Number 2, Scott.
Okay, so my number 2 already been mentioned, Soul. Because here's the thing, this is not my Soul. I'm not part of the 2007 shitty games journalism, can a game make you cry type of art criticism. But like Soul made me cry, and I don't cry a lot during movies. It got me. I think I'm getting older. I think I'm starting to get more emotional about shit.
Empathy.
You're getting more sentimental.
I'm over my like too cool to like things phase. I'm way over that. I've been over that. But I think it was something we really need in the pandemic because here's the as I've mentioned on this on this podcast, I do or did stand-up comedy. And also I'm fucking expat douchebag who lives in Madrid. We've heard this joke. So here's the thing. Despite having this like amazing journey where I moved almost on a whim, moved across the planet and just being like, I'm gonna learn Spanish by moving to Spain. That'll work. More or less. But so I had only done stand-up 6 months before I moved there. I had already applied to the job. And then my first 4 to 6 months in Madrid, I arrived here in late August. I really did nothing but focus on establishing myself in the comedy scene to the detriment of my mental health, because I was performing, losing sleep, writing, being a comedian basically.
Just a grind every day. All day.
I was grinding, not every day. I wish every day, but I couldn't. And that really made me not appreciate certain things, and not have the time that I was quote unquote supposed to be having. And I think COVID is gonna help me with that. Just enjoy my life. Because Adrian, you've known me forever. How bad am I at enjoying the moment? It's terrible. I'm
almost as bad as me.
Yeah. And also, so in Soul, you have the main character played by comedian Jamie Foxx, who is so obsessed with jazz, and spoilers for this movie, I guess, but he finally gets a jazz gig, gets a recurring jazz gig. He's a middle school teacher. I'm a school teacher, and then he's kind of like, well, what happens now? And he's like, well, now there's another show. And he's like, oh, wait, my life isn't different. I just had this great show. I come back to my empty apartment. Everything looks the same. I've had that exact same feeling, where you have a great night and then you come back and then you eat a bowl of sugary cereal and go to bed and nothing happens, and also what is better in life than a good slice of pizza? What's better than that? And that movie makes you think about that. Also, that movie made me think about, again, this is an education thing, but so the part of the concept of the movie is that 22, who is the soul that Jamie Foxx's character is trying to guide into finding her purpose, has to find her quote unquote spark, which is not necessarily her purpose, but her spark. But she has to find her spark before she actually lives, which is insane. And Pixar obviously has a lot of themes connecting to kids and families. And one thing that made me think of is how stupid is it, how insipid is it that we make 18-year-olds decide what to do with the rest of their life when they go to college or they go for any sort of post-secondary education or professional training or what have you in the workplace. It makes no sense, and it is a bit of a catch-22. You can't really know that until you do it. I kind of didn't know, I thought I used to want to do maybe social work, and then I kind of got into that environment, and I was like, all right, this is terrible. This is nothing but bureaucracy, and I hate that. So I don't know. That movie spoke to me in a lot of ways, and I think there's multiple ways of looking at the movie, and I'll leave it at that. I'll stop gushing.
I think the ending montage of him playing on the piano, he's looking at all the stuff that he's collected, is one of the great montages I've seen in a long time.
You can lose yourself, and I even think, how many creative people do you either personally know or know from history or contemporary history who are miserable in their personal lives?
I mean, they all are.
Yeah. And some people say that's a requirement. I don't. I think that's the tortured artist notion is sort of. I had a German professor in college who put it the best way. He said, "I think everybody should be depressed 2 weeks out of the year. Just get the perspective, and which is a very German way of thinking about it."
Yeah.
He was so German. I even told him, I'm like, "You're such a stereotype." He's like, "I know. I love beer and sausage and football." He's a good teacher.
No, that makes sense though. I mean, yeah, because I think the tortured artist shit is so played out, and it doesn't apply to everybody.
Dude, I am most creative when I'm happiest.
Same, yeah.
When I'm depressed, it's just my art just depresses other people, and not in a good way, not in an introspective way.
Yeah, I don't know. I've made equally interesting art when I'm peak depressed and peak happy. So I don't know.
I think it's sort of write depressed, edit not depressed, kind of like write drunk, edit sober, which is also bullshit.
Speaking of writing, like I have the best like ideas and thoughts and like concepts when I'm depressed. I'm depressed. I want to fucking write it. So when I'm not, I'll just be like, all right, finally, I can like sit down. Like, I feel good. My head feels good.
I mean, we shouldn't romanticize it, but there's a kind of a popular theory, about like pop psychology, like maybe that's why manic depressive people are productive, because they have those depressive phases where they're creative and those manic phases where they can work it out.
Oh shit!
That's
the whole thing.
If anyone watching is a TML regular, then Moonman is definitely when I was happy and fun, having a good time, and then Summit of Saturn is full on existential dread and depression, and they both make for interesting companions. But I don't know.
And if anyone's listening and you are like in a creative rut or you're depressed, it'll pass. Like, to me, the best thing that when I am feeling low, just let it sink over, let it wash you over. Like, work your way through it. If you need to talk to people, talk to people. If you don't, like, what I do is I go out for runs, makes me feel better, makes me feel like I'm doing something again, and then it helps me to eventually come back out of it. So just for anyone that is like listening and does have those, those
for sure. Or if you're me and you use your life to mirror the things that happen in your short films and YouTube videos, you literally meta write your way out of depression through plot lines in your YouTube series.
No, I get that. No, I get that for real. It's anyways, what were we talking about again?
We were talking about Adrian's fat, stinky number 2.
Oh yeah, so yours was Soul. Mine is Thinking of Ending Things, which we already talked about in detail. So
it's one of the best movies of the year.
It is.
What's your number 2, Dylan?
All right, so this is a new one. So Steve McQueen released 6 movies this year. He's the guy who did like 12 Years a Slave, Shame, Hunger, all that. So he has these Amazon movies called Small Acts. They're like 6 parts basically, and they all tell these stories of a West Indian. They're all set in West Indian communities in London. And so one is like about racial injustice, like cops beating up this guy's restaurant, blah blah blah. One is about a trial. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen all of them, but the one I'm going to talk about today, which you should watch most of these because I have seen a few and they're great. But the one I'm talking about is called Lovers Rock, and it's about a house party, basically in this house, and obviously, and really, it just takes you through the day of, and to the next day, like to the next morning, just about them partying. And it has one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a movie in a long time. You feel like you're there with them. It's so it's so romantic and so visceral. And and these are like Jamaicans, people from the West Indies, like things like these people, like I don't have anything in common with them, on the surface, but you literally, like, I feel like, there are scenes where I'm like, oh shit, I've been there, or I've done that, or this has happened to me, or all that. And it's just one of the most relatable movies I've watched in a long time. It's not that long. I think it's like an hour and 10 minutes. It's amazing.
I'm definitely watching this. This sounds exactly what I would want to watch.
It's incredible. And it's a feel good movie too. It really, like, it makes you feel good by the end of it. It made, like, literally, I was smiling by the end. My heart was warm. It felt great. Also, it's shot amazing. Like, the colors in it, just incredible.
All right, bet.
So and basically the characters you kind of follow. I mean, you follow a lot of them, but it's really based around this guy and this girl and their nights together, or their night together, and it's wonderful. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It was such a out of left field movie that I decided to watch, and I'm so glad that I did, because it's amazing.
Cool.
And yeah, Lovers Rock.
All right.
That's awesome. That's a good one. And I, for number one, am going to kind of cheat. I'm going to pick Hamilton on Disney Plus.
All right.
Okay. I know, but here's the thing.
Hamilton.
I can quote so much of that. First of all, there's edits and there's camera angles because there's a crane and stuff, so it's technically cinema. It's not like they just they didn't just like put a GoPro in front of the stage and like not move it for 2.5 hours. That's not what it is. So there are cinematic qualities to this recording of a stage production. So in Lin-Manuel Miranda's epic tale of America's first Secretary of the Treasury, what a pitch. It just got me. It got me. It's another thing. I think it's about immigrants. I'm a foreigner in a foreign country. I haven't seen my home in a year and a half. It's going to be 2 years at least when I see my country again. It really hit me. It hit me about why certain things about America that are fetishized, like our work ethic and our individualism, which are exaggerated, but like they are things that I appreciate more having lived in Europe, and the fact that we're not European, which like we could use healthcare and other things and like stop bombing brown kids. But also there are, hey, Europe's done that too, but they helped us. But Spain helped us. Yeah, I think that was it. Also, I like hip hop. It's good hip hop. Some of those bars are really complicated. The fact that he's able to pull off a high concept like this and pull it off. And also, I feel even silly talking about this movie because I'm from the flyover state. So this is the first time I was able to see it because I don't have musical theater in my home state, really not much. But and even just the fact that this eschews traditional kind of lame. I like musicals as a form, but a lot of musicals and a lot of Broadway musicals are very schmaltzy, sappy, predictable, and this eschews that. There's antagonists. I don't know if there's a real villain other than maybe just England, but that's only the first half of the play. And the second half of the play, the fact that he's able to pull off talking about managing America's national debt and making a financial plan and make it like as good as the part with the war is a feat unto itself. And I could go on, but I won't go on anymore. So,
my sister has like been trying to get me into Hamilton for 5 years. I think I'll watch it just for you, not her.
You may not like it, dude. I had a friend from Cyprus. I was like, because I know she likes musicals and she's interested in American history and she's Kino. And I was like, oh, have you seen Hamilton? And she was like, I saw part of it. I stopped watching it. When does it get good?
Damn.
And then
that's always brutal to hear.
It was brutal. It's fine. I get it.
I mean, I like musicals. I don't know. 76 charm.
Well, she also says she doesn't like. She also says she doesn't like hip hop, which I don't think you have to, because like my grandma doesn't listen to hip hop. She just likes musicals and she likes Hamilton. But,
interesting.
I don't know. To each his or her own.
My sister got to see Hamilton in Chicago.
That's dope.
So that was
I
good.
imagine seeing it live would be really an experience.
That was
I
good.
imagine seeing it live would be really an experience.
I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it though.
That's a cool first choice, though. I mean,
I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah,
dude. Here's the thing. That's the movie that's impacted me the most. Like today, I listen to like songs from that. I listen to the songs from that like almost daily, and it's been months since I've seen it.
Speaking of movies that impacted you the most, we already talked about it. My number one was Soul, and I kept flip flopping between thinking of ending things because it's so artistic and good, and Soul. But Soul impacted me the most. I did not expect this because I had kind of a falling out with Pixar when I, over the years as they got worse. But this movie I fucking really loved, and it hit just at the right moments, and it touched on topics that I needed to hear at the time. Beautifully done, and equally simple and complex, wildly complex in some places. Yeah, so number one of the year, Soul. Good job, Pixar.
Good job, Pixar. Mooring line approves.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it is what it is.
That should be on their DVD box art. It's like, good job.
Normally,
Pixar.
it would be Super Mario Bros. 2. No, it would be fucking Godzilla versus Kong, probably, or maybe if Evangelion hadn't been delayed. I don't know, but it is what.
Are you talking about part 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually really excited for that too, but it's fucking delayed for like the millionth time.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Soul number one. What about you, Dylan?
All right, so my number one is a recent one. It's called Another Round. It is a Danish film by Danish filmmaker Thomas Vinterberg, starring Mads Mikkelsen from, I don't know if you've ever seen Hannibal, or he's Le Chief in Casino Royale.
He's in Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding.
Yeah, he is in Death Stranding.
I want him, before you go further, I want him to play Grand Admiral Thrawn. Okay,
well,
continue.
Dude, actually, his brother voices Thrawn in Rebels.
Yeah. But I don't know if his brother can handle on screen.
By the way, Dylan,
have you not seen him on screen?
No.
He's in Sherlock. He's great.
Oh, yeah, he's in Sherlock?
Yeah, he's one of the villains, and he's amazing. He could totally pull off Thrawn.
Okay.
He even fucking looks like him.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let him do it then.
By the way, Dylan, I saw Another Round yesterday, and I loved it. I almost put it on this list. I couldn't decide between it and Mank, and honestly, I don't know. I think in terms of visceral enjoyment, I enjoyed this more. But Mank, I felt like honoring it with a place on it because of
I get that.
Yeah.
I was kind of the same road of like I didn't know if I wanted to put Mank or to Five Bloods, but I had ultimately just went with what I like more. And this movie is the definition of just so fun. It's like literally the whole movie is a nonstop just joke, but also so serious at the same time. I don't know how he manages to combine such a dark comedy just a comedy with such real shit, because basically the premise is you got these 4 school teachers, and all 4 of them are just down on their luck, and they're disassociated from life. They don't feel a spark anymore, and they're very just they're passive people, just kind of living. Their families are just blah, or they're really lonely, this and that. And then one day they go out for dinner for one of their birthdays, and one of the friends comes up with this, or he's been reading this psychiatrist. His name is Skardrud. I don't know, I butchered that, but basically this guy has this philosophy of you should always have your blood alcohol content at 0.05, and you will be the best version of yourself, basically. So they say, that's around like 2 glasses of wine, like every 2 hours, something like that. And so basically they make a pact to stay at that level all day throughout their jobs, like throughout the weekdays, and then no drinking on the weekends. But basically it's just a movie about how this affects them positively and negatively. And it's a roller coaster, and it's hilarious. And they have it's some of the best chemistry I've seen with actors on screen in a long time. It feels like they've been friends for years. It's so good. And then, it's like I said, it's not just a comedy. It's not just a fun time. It does have a really real emotional stakes that happen. And by the end of it, I wanted to rewind it and watch it again. As soon as the last frame showed up, I was like, I really want to watch this again.
And I will say the comedic elements are so dry it makes British humor look like the rainforest. You know?
Yeah. They're not doing jokes. They're not.
Well, it's not jokes. It's just situational.
Yeah.
And also like an awareness of the absurdity of seeing all these middle-aged men try. Okay, so the not Spanish, the Danish title is Druk, or I don't know how to pronounce that. DRUK, which literally is their word for binge drinking. So it's a movie called Binge Drinking, about binge drinking.
Yeah, was this concept written by fucking Jim Leahy?
No. So, I was reading up into it, and I didn't realize that specifically Copenhagen, has like the worst drinking problem in like the world, because they start drinking at like 16 legally, and their whole like culture is based around heavy drinking base. And so this is it's a movie about Copenhagen and Denmark in general, basically, and how they have a problem with it. I think there's even a line in the movie where one of them is talking about how like you're just so fucked up like the rest of Denmark.
Yeah.
You know, and so it does have like a message to say about, I guess, Denmark as a whole and a society. And it's really weird how you like they don't ever like answer. There's like this question that keeps getting brought up, like, are we alcoholics, or are we going to be like alcoholics? And they don't really clearly state that. You know, it's up to you to decide if what they were doing was wrong or if it did help them. You know, and I think I like that in movies where it's not like, hey, they have alcoholism, this is bad, look what they've done.
Yeah,
it's up to interpretation, really, on how you feel by the end of the movie.
Right, and I would agree with that, because I do think there is throughout the movie a celebration of the spirit of youth, and there's even a quote from Soren Kierkegaard at the beginning of the movie that I'm quoting it roughly translated, but what is love if not the spirit of youth? Mm-hmm. And these are all like middle-aged men who are like they're middle-aged or having marital troubles, they got kids, they feel old, they're all school teachers,
they feel like hollow shells of what they were.
And so I don't know, there is almost a message of moderation. Like, alcohol can make you young and can make you vivacious, but also don't go full Copenhagen with it.
I will say, like, no spoilers, but just one of the first scenes where one of them decides to really drink before they go into school. Shit. It is one of the best scenes I've seen in a long time. Because it's intense. You're like, oh my God, he's going to fuck up. He's going to fuck up so bad. But you don't know. Oh, it's amazing. The way he plays it, you can never tell if he's crossed the line or not.
Dude, I could never, no. Never.
Oh, man. It's great. Yeah, Adrian, you should really watch this movie. It's incredible.
I'd recommend it as well.
Okay.
Also, I've never seen another Danish film.
I
have an asterisk.
Watch Lovers Rock for sure.
I'll watch that. I have a really big asterisk. So about an hour ago, right before this podcast, I got finished watching First Cow. And
what'd you think?
Did you see it, Dylan?
Yeah.
Dude, here's the thing, because I just watched it. I need to give it more time to settle. That if I could put a top 6, it would be on there.
It's fucking lovely.
Honestly, it might be. Yeah, I don't know. That might actually be like my number 3 or something. I don't know. I need to think about it more. But that movie is excellent. It is.
It's like meditative.
4:3. It is meditative. Shot in 4:3.
Mm-hmm.
It works because the way they do it, it's almost when it cuts, it's almost like cutting between photographs because it's set in the front like 1820. And they're all
it's really just about like they got a cow and they're making cakes out of the cow, basically. And they're just starting a business on the frontier, basically.
It's about capitalism.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But it's so beautiful and just slow and, like I said, meditative. And it lets you just it lets you linger on these moments that you wouldn't think a movie would normally let you linger on. It's a small little shit that they do. And yeah, it's a really great, easy, nice watch. If you're feeling like tense,
it's pretty tense, man.
Well, I guess it does get a little tense. But
I was tense almost that entire movie.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
no, you could. I don't want to spoil anything, but
no, you can't. You can't even mention like the first scene without spoiling it. So
I do get what you're saying.
That's weird. I was going to see it in theaters actually, and then COVID happened, and I thought it got pushed back. But you guys have seen it, so
I saw it on Amazon.
Okay.
It came out, because another reason I didn't put it on the list, and I don't know if this counts. I think this is pretty typical in film release schedules. It was in festivals in 2019, but theatrical release, stream release was in 2020.
Yeah, it was one of the big A24 pushes for like last year, basically.
I'm just ready for the Green Knight.
Oh, fuck yes, dude.
I'm ready
oh
for
my
that.
God.
Now, if I had a number 6, it'd probably be Weathering with You, which was a good.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Matoko Shinkai. Oh my God, that's
cool.
a great movie.
Yeah. Check that one out.
Did you guys watch any like limited series or anything? Because my number 6 would actually be Queen's Gambit. Did you guys watch Queen's Gambit or anything?
Count. It's a show.
I don't care. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard 100 things about Queen's Gambit. I don't know. A lot of Netflix original shows seem to be
they're shitty, but this one isn't though. It's awesome.
Okay, actually, honestly, Dylan, because so probably one of the biggest fans of this podcast might be my mom. So the fact that you said it's good and the last person to recommend it to me was my mom, I can't trust your taste more than my mom. Actually, my mom has good movie taste for the most part.
No, it's definitely like it's more. It has like a style to it. It has flair. Like it doesn't feel like another fucking Netflix show.
Yeah, another television shoulder shot. Okay.
No, it's got these great, a lot of like recurring one takes that they do throughout the show, and it's amazing.
Okay.
And like the visual, like the way they visualize how she's playing chess, it's awesome. Also, if you like chess, which I like chess a lot, you're gonna really like it.
I don't know how to play chess.
But even if you don't play chess,
last time I played chess, I got my ass kicked by a 17-year-old.
Well, strategy. It doesn't even matter if you don't know how to even play chess. You can still understand what she's doing, what they're doing.
I know how to move. That's where it ends.
The best Netflix limited series is probably Maniac, in my opinion. But
that's a great one. Also, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. Like anything she's in, I want her in everything. So if you like her acting, give it a shot.
There any? Well, Adrian, and this is your show. Do we want to talk other movies that came out in 2020, or do we want to talk about movies that didn't come out this year but that we saw for the first time this year?
We can talk about whatever. First, I want to say, what are some of the worst movies you saw this year?
Tenet.
Fuck y'all.
No, one of the worst ones I saw was Palm Springs. I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, the movie was very
okay. I liked it, I guess, but I guess I really like picking at the bottom of the barrel of like these movies. I don't even hate them; they're just not the ones I
exactly. I didn't have any I just fucking hated, but there was plenty that I just was like, okay, whatever.
I don't have any I hated.
If I had to say my least favorite of the year is Sonic the Hedgehog. That movie's bad studio crap.
Schlock, yeah.
No,
Palm Springs was like fine.
Palm Springs was fine, but I'd rather just watch Groundhog Day. So what's the point?
Or Edge of Tomorrow or some shit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There was a movie called Synchronic that came out that had a lot of potential, but it felt more like an episode of like Black Mirror. Didn't feel like it reached its full potential. Very like TV movie feeling. It was by the guys who made The Endless, and I can't remember. It's two guys. I can't remember their names, but anyway, that had more potential. Scoob, I already talked about Scoob. Scoob sucks and is a fucking slight.
Don't they like fucking dab in that movie and shit? Like,
I don't know if they dab. I don't remember.
Aren't they trying to do like?
That's not the slight. The slight is that instead of telling a nice Scooby-Doo caper, I'm paraphrasing Adrian here, they try to make it like they tried to make a Scooby-Doo MCU, Scooby-Doo cinematic universe.
Fucking stupid. I don't even want to get back into it. But here's a movie that came out technically it doesn't come out until 2021, but it got leaked and I watched it. It was Eric Andre's film Bad Trip, which was like a out in public sketch, but stretched out to a full movie.
Mm-hmm.
no, there's some good pranks in that. It's it's like Jackass,
Yeah.
Yeah, not every joke hits, but there's some funny fucking pranks in that movie.
Okay.
So when that hits Netflix this year, when it was supposed to last year, but I might put it on if you're bored, have some laughs. Let's see. Least favorite, yeah, it was fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. Onward was okay. Birds of Prey, whatever.
I watched this one movie. It's not like bad or good, but it was a nice little small movie that I think this is like a first time director. So it's called Vast of Night. It's like an Amazon original.
Okay.
And the only reason I watched it is because Red Letter, they watched it. Mike and Jay did. And I was like, oh, and it's just about these two kids in like 1950s New Mexico, and there's like aliens coming through their radio waves. And they're trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. And it's really just like, it's like a play. It's like 95% dialogue heavy, barely moving, not much happening, but the dialogue is really good and the actors are really good. And I recommend it just as a small movie.
Okay.
Check someone else out if you're looking for someone different.
So about 4 hours ago, I saw Nomadland right before right before. Did you see that, Dylan?
No, I want to. It's not out over here.
Is pretty good. But here's the weird thing. It's about the recession, and it's kind of a road movie. It's about people living out of RVs and vans, mainly vans. Frances McDormand is the lead. She's great as always. So it's this very meditative tale about economic malaise and late stage capitalism. And Chloe Zhao's next movie is going to be The Eternals from Marvel Studios. And I don't see it, but I'm honestly fascinated.
I was hoping you'd bring that up because I would if you would have, just to be like, what the fuck?
I have no idea how they made that decision. It's because her last movie, which is a movie I was kind of interested in seeing, just because it was advertised at the Kentucky Theater, is about horses.
Yeah, wasn't it the Ride?
Last Ride.
Oh,
it's
Last
about
Ride, yeah.
A young boy who I think he gets injured and can't ride his horse anymore, or something like that.
Pretty sure it's based off a real story.
Yeah, I think so. This is actually based off a nonfiction book, which I didn't know, and it's almost a western. And that's cool. The same thing. I would say, First Cow is like, I would say it's definitely a western, like more than it, but like Nomadland, it's a bit western. It takes place in the West.
Yeah,
and there's that sort of westward expansion, American dream, money, capitalism. Like that's common in westerns. So
yeah, that's like that one. And I wanted to see Minari with Steven Yeun about South Koreans moving to Arkansas in like the 80s. That's supposed to be another like great one that really looked amazing too. So it was Nomadland and that one that I wanted to see.
I haven't heard about it. I'd recommend Nomadland.
Cool. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of things about that movie. I really want to watch it.
Really good.
What's your what are you looking forward to this year?
Vaccine? I don't know.
A vaccine. Dune.
Dune, man.
Okay, actually, no. Let's. What are some movies you may have watched this year for the first time that are older movies?
Can I say that I watched? It's not like super old, but I watched Gaspar Noé's Climax for the first time.
Oh yeah, I've been putting that off.
Holy fuck!
Yeah. Damn, I wish Sam was on here. He would have fucking.
You mentioned this. It sounds incredibly masturbatory and pretentious.
It is amazing. It also, like, you know how I described Lovers Rock as like this really wholesome, great night about music.
It's the opposite of that.
It's the fucking direct. It's hell. It's like the lowest level of hell version of that movie, and it's awesome.
Okay, good.
I watched that for the first time this year too. Yeah, and it was fucking gave me a panic attack.
I really liked, and you can watch Christmas cast. Shout out to previous episodes. I really liked watching It's a Wonderful Life beginning to end for the first time. I'd only seen parts on TV. I really like seeing Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for the first time.
Nice.
I had only seen parts on TV. Other than that, old movies I saw, I don't know, man. I don't remember. Nothing sticks
Day Trippers.
Out.
We all watched Day Trippers.
Oh, we all watched Day Trippers. That movie's great.
Amazing. Also, yeah, fuck
what
yeah.
a nice
90s indie.
Yeah.
It is it's a nice. That's a film I want to put in like my bookcase
That
in
film,
my
like, it
living
holds
room.
me. That film holds me.
It
That's what
is.
I felt.
It
That's what I
rocks
felt.
you.
Yeah. Even though it's pretty fucked up, the way it's pretty sad by the end of it.
Yeah, it's all about infidelity. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
but it's just
good
it's
for
so
the
like
characters.
casually real.
Yeah.
Let's see. As a Ralph Bakshi fan, somehow I didn't watch Fritz the Cat until this year. I'd always watched Heavy Traffic and Wizards, which were two of my favorite fucking animated movies of all time. Finally, I watched Fritz the Cat, and of course, I loved it. I love all of his work. I need to rewatch his Lord of the Rings, see if I still like it or not. But yeah, Fritz the Cat's great. I watched a Japanese new wave film called A Funeral Parade of Roses. I could not recommend that more. That
is that the one that you recommended me? Is it about trans people?
It's about a lot of things.
Okay.
But watch Funeral Parade of Roses. One of my favorite movies I've watched in the last year, easily. Man, I love that movie. Just like when you have that itch for something crazy and like new and fresh and progressive, even though it's like decades old, you watch it, dude. Experimental, beautiful movie.
I watched La Haine because of you this year.
Yeah, boy.
That was awesome.
Movie's fantastic.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I don't know if Funeral Parade of Roses is on Criterion, but you can find it somewhere. But
Tokyo Godfathers, watch that for the first time.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Godfathers, great. Yeah, nice. I got to see that in theaters before pandemic hit. That was cool.
Oh hell yeah.
That was I watched. I had not seen Kubrick's Paths of Glory until this year, and I watched that, and that's one of his best films, easily. It might be tied for me with Clockwork Orange now. Paths of Glory is easily one of the best World War I movies of all time, because it's and for the time it's ahead of its time with how bleak it is and how you think things are gonna turn out a certain way because it's a movie, and then it doesn't, and it's, man.
When did that come out? Is that before Strangelove?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to place that in his like lexicon of when that shit, because it's after. Is that like his first like not studio mandated movie?
I don't know.
Like,
I was surprised that one of his earlier films was still so progressive and wonderful and like complex. That movie hits you fucking hard. And what's his name? The main guy. Man, I can't even remember. It's
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, Kirk Douglas. Man, he does such a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched Paths of Glory. Couldn't recommend that more. I watched Snowpiercer. I wanted to watch more Bong Joon-ho, and I put off Snowpiercer for fucking years. It had been sitting in my Netflix queue for ages. I finally watched it
for the first time. Damn.
Yeah, I finally watched that. Shit. I really enjoyed that. That was, it's heavy-handed with its themes and commentary, but not every movie has to be subtle. It was fun as fuck. I think
it relishes in. Yeah, it's like indulgent.
It's high concept science fiction.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I saw Parasite for the first time I did. I saw it earlier in the year, and yeah, that movie's great.
I actually liked. Controversial. I like Snowpiercer more than Parasite.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think you can, because it's such a different movie. It's
exactly.
Totally
You're not saying like objectively it's better, but Halloween 3 was dope.
Oh yeah, Halloween 3. Hell yeah! Welcome to the club.
You know what wasn't dope? Friday the 13th, part 1 through 4. It was fine.
Whatever.
It was okay.
That's too. Scott's not on the correct level of irony, so
I don't think I'm there.
No. I just like slasher films. That's fun.
It's not my genre.
Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters. I watched this year. That's on Criterion. You got to go watch that, Dylan.
Okay, I will. What is it called? A Life in 4 Chapters?
Yeah, Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters. And that is like this guy's drastically different eras of his life portrayed beautifully through like these set pieces, and like some of them are abstract set pieces to represent different qualities of his growing up and stuff, and then others are more set in reality, and it's really good.
Well, speaking of Criterion, I watched recently. I watched Hour of the Wolf by Ingmar Bergman, which is incredible. It's like feels very much The Lighthouse was. I feel like he watched that movie because I know he loves Bergman. I feel like he watched that movie and was like, "All right, here's some ideas for my movie," because it's just about isolation, and there's a big castle, and it gets really fucking weird, and there's like dream logic in it, and it's
cool.
I think you would really fucking dig it. It's about a couple. It's about a couple that kind of just goes insane, and it's awesome. And then I also watched like most of Akira Kurosawa's shit that he has on the Criterion channel right now. So like The Bad Sleep Well, High and Low, which that's probably my favorite Kurosawa movie. It's just about a businessman. He's like a CEO of this business, and someone kidnaps his son, but then it turns out that it's actually the driver's son that got kidnapped, and they wanted the guy to pay a ransom basically, and he was going to pay it if he knew that, like, because it was his son. But when they find out that it was the driver's son, it's like this dilemma, this moral dilemma of like, well, shit, do I pay to get his son back or do I not? And then it kind of turns into like a murder mystery type of thing. It's amazing. It's like it's so ripe with drama immediately, and it could, like, the whole movie you're just like glued to the screen. I would highly recommend watching that if you have some time. I think it's like 3 hours though, so so it's definitely a long one.
Let's see. Criterion. There's a few others I watched on Criterion that were really good. Rebels of the Neon God. Recommend that. Nice. And Jim Jarmusch's Mystery Train.
Hell yeah.
That was a good one.
I love some Jim Jarmusch.
If you don't know what that is, people, that's that one takes place in Memphis, which is like 2 hours from where I live. So that was cool. In the 80s, and it tells the story of like a couple different people all staying at this rundown shitty motel, and it's just kind of a slice of life kind of thing. And
he's like the best director at slice of life stuff.
Yeah, and he's great. Steve Buscemi, of course, is great in it, and the bellhop and like the guy, the manager of the motel are like the only two characters that are like throughout, like the tales that you see in it all connect to each other and happen around the same time, but they're still separate from each other. It's interesting. Good shit. Yeah. So yeah.
Also, I would recommend too, Scorsese, all of his short films from whenever he was like a college student.
Oh yeah.
Are on Criterion now. And I watched a few of them, and they're also just, it's crazy to see the level of proficiency and just creativeness that he was on as a 19 to 21 year old.
Yeah.
And how they kind of translate to like, he's still doing the same type of techniques, like these really crazy. It's just wild. He's like the best living director right now, and it's really informative and just amazing to see where he came from. And
did it make you feel like a piece of shit?
No, actually,
you feel worthless.
No, it actually didn't. It actually inspired the shit out of me.
Okay, that's healthy.
Yeah,
that's not the reaction I would have had.
No, I get what you're saying. It's easy to like fall into like, holy fuck, dude. Look at me. What am I doing? And he was already doing this shit. I just feel like the way I look at that shit now, it's like, it's just textbook for me. Like, I don't even care about how old he was. I just like to see where he started and, what he's doing now. And I look at it that way and like, what can I grab from that? Or what can I learn from that?
Right.
Because if I do start comparing myself, I will never get out of that hole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not as good as Scorsese. Guess I should fucking kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When I watched a few years ago, I watched all of David Lynch's early shorts and stuff. And I was like, damn, okay.
Adrian, you're not as good as David Lynch. You're not.
That's what you think.
You're not.
I am.
You're not.
I am. But
yeah, just fucking with you. David Lynch fucking sucks.
Why can't you be Greg Turkington? Oh well.
Yeah, I wish I was Greg.
Really, all Also, I would just say, man, get Criterion. It just if you love movies, it's literally been my Bible.
Yeah, to get Criterion.
Yeah,
Or Adrian can post his password in the comments. That's what.
Yeah, Adrian, post your password in the comments.
Yeah, fuck Hulu, fuck all that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, dude.
Criterion, so it's just so simple.
Dude, we're gonna
find some of these movies. You know, you try to torrent them, they only have like one seater, or they're in like 720p or like DVD quality. Nah.
They don't have fucking yeah. Yeah. It's just
dude. If you have a date and she won't Criterion and chill, you need to pump her and dump her, and then get on to the next one. Okay, it's almost midnight here. I'm really tired.
You would be.
She's not Kino enough for this.
Shit. Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man, bro.
Okay. Feliz Año Nuevo.
Oh shit! It's been like 2 hours.
No, it's not.
Has it not?
It's been like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Time is a concept. I don't know.
Hopefully 2021 is bright. Thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna fucking do something else.
I'm gonna go have COVID by myself.
I'm fine.
Okay.